Okay, so I am down to my last 3 days before I go back to school. Both schools, actually. Well, I'm still on winter break for my college, but for my job as a teacher, all teachers, I'm sure you can all agree with me how excited we were to get this break. Now, unfortunately, my school cut our break short. So we will be back at work on the 2nd for PD, while everybody else is still getting an extended 4-day weekend before those kids come back the following week. But anyway, it is what it is. I am appreciative for the break that I did get. So, of course, with the year ending, I have always been big on cleaning my house, deep cleaning my house. A part of that is going through my closets, going through my shoes. I will admit I am a shopper. I shop a lot. And so, but I am a bargain shopper. So I'll buy things out of season. I'll buy things on clearance. I don't follow trends. I set them myself. So now with that being said, while I was going through my closet, I came across some Crocs. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I bought these Crocs 2 years ago. And actually, it was my husband that brought these Crocs. So, I seen them in the store. It was out of season. It was summertime. And I was like, I really want these shoes because they different. Yeah, now it different. Once I got them home, I was like, they're kind of funny looking. But because my husband was nice enough to buy me the shoes, even though he was like, Croc boots, that sound ugly. Because he don't even like Crocs. But he was like, here's the money, go back and get them. Because he's just a great husband like that. So anyway, while I was going through, I found this shoe that I wanted so bad because I really didn't like Crocs initially. But then one day I was out shopping, I came across a yellow pair, and I was like, wait, these is kind of some heat. So I bought my first pair of Crocs. Then I got into decorating shoes. So I bought the Cricket where you can put on press. So I've made Chief shoes. I've made customized shoes with my husband's comedy logo on them. So I've done it all when it comes to designing and decorating shoes. So one thing I enjoyed was doing Crocs. Now, I ended up stopping because I got into school and I'm currently working on my doctoral degree. So I'm a year in, just finished last month, my first year with a 4.0. By the way, let me brag a little bit about myself. But anyway, so I was like, well, I done cleaned out all the closets. I don't want to go anywhere because when I go somewhere, that means I got to spend money. And because Christmas just passed and I spent a lot between my stepson and my husband, so, and his birthday was 4 days before Christmas. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not going outside because I know if I go outside, I'm going to spend some more money. So I was like, you know what? Let's take it back. Let's go on and take these funny looking Crocs and see what we can do. Now, before y'all get started, I understand the controversy with Crocs. However, I already bought these and I wasn't throwing them away. So it kind of is what it is. But anyway, so what I use, the 3 things that I'm going to use to redo this pair of Crocs to kind of give them a little bedazzle to make it look a little better. We're going to try, we're going to see, but we're going to work it out. Is I have this drill. So this is how I start. I drill down the shoe, which I've already done because I just made a TikTok. So this shoe is already drilled down, but I drill it down to sand it down to make it a smooth thing so that the glue sticks better. And then I use this E6000 glue, and I have these dots. These are called Bling dots. So they used to be sold out of like Hobby Lobby or stores like that is where I used to get my dots from. Now you can kind of catch them on Amazon sometimes or maybe Etsy, but they're kind of hard to find. But because I've done so many pairs of shoes and I was doing them for other people, I have a lot of these still left in my little creative box. So I pulled out these gold ones, and that's what we're going to work with. So what I do is I file them down first, and then I take the dots. Right now I'm using a plate. Usually I have a little actual container, but I didn't feel like digging all the way through to find it, so I just have a paper plate. Pour them out. This pen is like wax at the tip, so it just picks it up really easy for me. And so I put the glue and just put it on, and I dot it on. Hold on a second. Alright, so I'm gonna do a few and show you how I do it. Now for me, I don't mind the time that it takes. Some people feel like this is too time consuming. For me, it's kind of relaxing and peaceful. So like right now, just turned on my little jazz music. Got my fan blowing over here because my heat kicks in and it gets a little hot in here. And so I just put a little bit of glue, because you don't want to use too much at one time because it will dry quickly. And then you just get to going, and you just keep it as neat as possible. Kind of keep going in a line, straight lines if you can. In the corner, sometimes it's kind of hard to stay in a straight line, so you just kind of move it and keep them close together as possible. And you just pick it up and stick. And you just keep going until all where you have glue is full. Don't take a break. Once you push that glue on there, you got to see it through. Because if you don't, then you just got dried up glue, and you're going to have to put more glue on top of that, and then it's going to start to look bulky. And you want a smooth finish. You don't want a bulky finish. So you got to keep on pushing. It really doesn't take as long as people think it does once you get in the groove of it. Now, and then for me, because I'm used to doing it so much already, now what I usually do is make sure all of the diamond dots are turned the same way, because it does slow you down when they're not all facing forward. Because then you got to stop and flip them. Like that one just flipped the wrong way. So if it flips, you just use the back part and flip it back around and keep it pushing. So now this shoe, I could have done probably within about 2 hours if I actually just sit and turn on a TV show or something. It wouldn't even really take me 2 hours. Let me not say that. It'll take me about an hour to finish this whole shoe. So that's that part that I just did. And so before you know it, you'll be halfway up to the front. So it wouldn't take, but probably about an hour for this shoe. Like now, because I'm talking, I'm slowing down at it. But usually I go a lot faster when I'm just focused on the shoe and like listening to music, or if I got a TV show on, I listen and kind of look up. But I kind of get in the zone, and once I'm in the zone, it goes a lot quicker. So now I'm just kind of moving some around to give it a clean finish. Because I don't want any of them to like be bulky. So I just go back and make sure all of them is full in. Like this one I just took off because I felt like it needed to be, that was wrong glue, needed to be placed closer to one. So I just put a little glue in one of the spaces, and I'm going to go back in and fill that one in to make sure that I don't have any empty spaces because the shoe is white. So it'll start to show. Then I'm kind of just like pushing them down to make sure all of them are sticking flat and not sticking off the glue, because I like for my shoes to be really, really neat when I do a bling. So I'm going to end up doing this whole front part. And I'm not going to do this part because I kind of think that sometimes, like when I tried the shoe back on, if I push it this way and pull the strap back, I kind of like it better because it doesn't give this push down look in the back, because there's like no firmness to this type of shoe. So because of that, I feel like I might have to put these in sports mode. So I'm not gonna bling the top. Sometimes on my shoes I do this part as well, but today I'm only gonna do this part. So if you see, I'm not doing that. Now, I have had a pair when I first started doing them that I didn't always buy real Crocs because I was more so practicing. So, and what I would do with them is do this part because they weren't real Crocs, so I would go all the way around. But on this one, because it's an actual Croc shoe, I don't do this, and I would also do this part too when they're not real Crocs. But because these are, I leave the little crocodile out. So I will be posting a finished video of the finished product. I'm going to make a reel out of it from my TikTok so that you can see how the finished product turns out and see if this is something that you would like to do yourself, because it's actually a pretty cool activity. And like I said, for me, it's actually therapeutic. It's not very time consuming like people think. And because this is my personal shoe, it's not like I'm doing it for anybody else. There's no rush to get done. So if I want to take 2-3 days, I can. I have no plans on wearing this boot anytime soon. As I said, I had it for 2 years and forgot it was in my closet. So now I'm just doing it just because I have some free time. And so I decided to just go ahead and give myself something to do to prevent from going outside, because for one, it's raining here in Kansas City, Kansas. And for two, I don't want to spend no money. I'm trying to re-up from the money I spend from Christmas. So I'm giving myself something productive to do because I don't want to go out anywhere. And so this is what I decided to do. Like I said, I don't have any schoolwork because my college doesn't open back up till January 13th. So I just kind of had some downtime. So I'm like, hey, let's see what it's gonna do. But this is a cool little way to jazz up some Crocs. I've also used this technique on Chucks, Converses. So I've done some of those as well. I've done those for wedding shoes. So if you're getting married and you want to make your own shoe and not have to pay anyone to bling your Crocs out, your Converses out, or if you are wearing Crocs for a little wedding shoe, this is something that you can do yourself. That's inexpensive, costs very little. The glue is not more than $5 for a pack of 3 littles. I prefer to use the little packs because the big one, even though it seems like it would make more sense to get the big one, it really doesn't, because the big one starts to burst in the middle the more you push it. So you start to have like more of a messier glue, and it's harder to like control the amount that comes out. So sometimes it pushes out too much glue. And so when you want a smooth, like crispy look, it's better to me to just buy the smaller glues, the 3 packs. I think they normally come in 3 or 4 pack. And so that way you don't have as much glue. You're able to control the amount that's coming out, and it gives it a neater look. And you don't have to worry about when you squeezing it, the middle part coming open, because after a while with the big ones, the middle part always pops open. And so that's just a tip that I would suggest to you, is not to get the big glue. Even though you're probably getting more for your money, it's going to be more work as well. So get the smaller glues. Usually these I would use probably like a glue and a half for one shoe, and then it's still I have another glue and whatever half of that one for the other shoe. So 3 glues is probably about all you need, because you're not putting a lot, and the little goes a long way. So you should be able to get the job done with 3 glues. But I believe it comes in a pack of 4. So these glues that I pulled out was just like from my stash of stuff that I had from when I did shoes. So I didn't open up a new pack. But this is our progress. So you see how we just moving right along. It's really not as bad as people think. When they see all the little tiny blings on my shoes, they be like, oh my God, you sat there and did that? Yes, honey, I did. But as you can see, it really starts to make a lot of progress quickly. So it's not as bad as you think, especially if you just kind of like doing arts and craft type work. It really goes pretty fast. So now I'm glad I just did that, because it flipped over like most of my diamond dots. So now it even makes it go even easier. So when they all turn upwards, I can pick them up a lot faster and not have to sit and look for the ones that are sitting upright. So you see how now I can just pick it up and go, and I'm just following a line. So in the corner, it's kind of harder to do the lines, but like now, you see, I am just pushing it and following a line right around the rim of the shoe. That's why I keep going up and down. So when I get to here, I'll just go around in a circle. Is how I do the circles. Unless you want to put the charm there, you put your charm in first, so you can just avoid yourself from doing double the work. But even with the bling, you can still stick your charm on top of the circle and still go inside. But the amount of bling you want to put around, you could probably eliminate that if you just decide, okay, I already know I'm putting blings in, so I'm gonna put them there, and then work around the blings with the charms with the bling. And these dots, when you do find them, comes in several different colors. So I've done a Chief shoe with Kansas City Chiefs on it with red and yellow. I've done a Black History Month shoe where I did red, black, and green. So you can pretty much find these in any color you would like. Initially I was thinking that I was probably going to do a royal blue for my sorority colors and do a royal blue bling with the white shoe. But because right now I didn't have the royal blue, I just decided to just go with a gold, because I feel like white and gold goes pretty good together. So as you can see, it goes pretty quick once you get the hang of it and the speed. If you want to make it go faster, or if you just chilling and you just like, let me just put it on and I don't really care how long it takes, you can take as long as you want or go as fast as you need to. But as you can see, it's going pretty quickly. Now, I will probably have these shoes done by, this one will probably be done by today. And the other one I'll probably start tomorrow, because once I get back to work, all this type stuff stops. Because girl, honey, them kids, if you are a school teacher, you understand this year has been completely different for this behaviors go. It's like I've taught for over 15 years, but this year by far I have seen more behavior problems than any of my years before. And I feel like it's due to a mixture of things. And so some things I just don't even speak on the internet, because folks like to find your videos and try to use it against you. So I'm gonna keep those comments to myself. But I am slightly concerned about this getting rid of the Board of Education. So right now, me doing these type projects just kind of frees my mind from it. Reality of when I go back to work. But once I get back to work, when I get off work, I don't be wanting to do nothing but either cook if I gotta cook that day, or do homework, which I normally do before I go to work because I'm a morning person. So I get up really early in the morning, but and do homework, or I'll do it on the weekends. So this is just kind of relaxing, something I can do and take a break from having to be such a critical thinker, profound thinker when I'm working and when I'm in school. So I'm going to shake some more of these up so more of them will flip back over. But yeah, the concern of the Board of Education being taken away. Now, prior to me finishing my last semester of school this December, I wrote a paper about my opinion on the education system. And so the topic that I had chose was talking about the Brown versus Board of Education. So when you think back in history, this is the same Board of Education that Oliver Brown fought against in courts to even segregate brown kids to be able to get an education. So in a sense, it made me feel like, well, why are we so worried about them taking away the education system that was never built for our colors anyway? It was never about us. So, yes, over time, after people fought to get that education system for us to get an education, it does make me even more frustrated as a teacher when I see so many little students that don't even understand how many people fought before them to even be able to get this education that they think is not valued at all. They don't want to be in class. They don't want to be at school. So they cause trouble. And it's like, wow, if we only brought back history classes to the classrooms and then the schools, because my school currently does not have a history class. We don't even have a social studies class at our school. So a lot of these children don't know how important that education really is. And some of them might find out, depending on what it looks like when Trump does take away Board of Education. Because now, for so many years, they have taken the lead over so many departments, including financial aid and FAFSA, which I currently use for my schooling, for my doctorate's degree. Because being a school teacher, my school doesn't do tuition reimbursement. You would think that's all schools would, because you would want your teachers to get as educated as possible, go as further as you can to continue to stay up to date with the current trends of education. Because math ain't taught like it was taught when I was in elementary. Math is so complex now to get to a basic answer of 8 plus 8. It's ridiculous how now you have so many more steps. So I would think that our districts would pay for teachers' education reimbursement if they want to continue in higher education. But nope. And so with that being said, I do worry slightly, because I'm going to say slightly because I pray about it and I'm going to keep going, about what would that look like. Will we lose fast-forward financial aid? I'm praying that that's not the case, because that would limit a lot of people from being able to go to college. And also, where would the schools look like as far as funding? Because I've also recently done a paper on No Child Left Behind, which actually left several children behind, and the effects of that. And so to me, that's what comes to mind when you talk about taking away Board of Education, because in putting it in the hands of one person to oversee everything when this company is made up of thousands of employees. And so I think about Brown Boy, No Child Left Behind, because with No Child Left Behind, that's how it failed. It was a system that was put in place in order to help, supposedly help inner city schools, but really it hindered the inner city schools, because those are the schools that struggle the most with meeting testing, standardized testing. And so if the money is allocated based off of standardized tests, you're going to see a lot of inner city schools that are going to end up in horrible situations, maybe even closing, because our schools have been proven to have lower test scores. Like, I currently teach at a charter school, and even now our school is struggling tremendously with low test scores, trying to get those test scores up. And so I think about schools like myself, even though they say that charter schools is what is preferred, every state doesn't have charter schools. Private schools, I don't think private schools want all money, because private schools are held to a certain standard. So for the state to say, oh, well, you don't have to go to public school, here's some money to go to private school, but you accept the kid that's reading in the 5th grade and you reading on a 1st grade level, you setting that kid up for failure to send them to private school just because the state didn't pay for it. So it's a lot of things that could create a lot of problems in this area of this Board of Education being shut down. Though, we just got to wait and see and hope for the best. It is going to be interesting to replace all of those people with one person. And a wrestler's wife at that. Like, I don't even know if she had any experience in education, in schools, or any of that. But somehow, the wrestler's wife ended up being the point person for all educations. So this is going to be intriguing when January 20th come and all these new things start getting pushed down the pipeline. So this is why I do feel like doing my little activities like this is a little happy right now, a little bit stress-free, and you can just kind of vibe out and just be okay and be at peace and chill. So like I said, this is not a shoe for sale or anything. This is just a shoe that I'm doing for myself. So I can go as fast as I want to or as slow as I want to. It's just kind of up to you. Now, when I do place orders when other people do place orders, I do focus in and have them done within a 48-hour time frame. So even though it's dot by dot, I still get it done within 48 hours. So this is how far I've gotten so far, and I've just been doing this video for 28 minutes now. So we already here, and then this is with talking. So if I wasn't talking, I probably would have been about here, but because I've been running my mouth, it slowed me down. But so this shoe probably got another hour to go. So like I said before, it's probably about an hour and a half of one shoe. But this side is already dried down, so the glue, goodness, to make it talk right, the glue dries quickly, which is why once you put the glue on there, do not go walk away or try to hurry up and go to that. Nope, you got to see it through, or else you'll end up with clots of glue. And actually, too, when I'm done with this, I have a spray glue that I spray to set it to. So once you put the spray glue on top of it, it all holds. Like, I've never had a case where mine's came off. Like, when I do bling my Crocs, they set, they stay. Now, I have tried like hydro dipping them. That does not last. It will peel off quickly. So when I see videos of people saying hydro dipping Crocs, I have a video on my TikTok, and I did it, but it came off really, really quickly. But the blings, I've done the patches, I've done pearls, whatever comes to mind. I've done like actual words on here and sketched it out, and then bling the letters. So I've gotten pretty creative with some Crocs, even though now I really don't wear them as much. And as you can see, when the light hit it, boom, it's glistening, honey. So this little ugly boot gonna bring attention for not just being funny looking, but that bling gonna be hitting it when you walk. So no regrets. Stay tuned for the finished product. As I said, I am going to do a reel to show the start to finish look and all the products and the finishing glue that I put on top, so that if you want to try these at home, feel free. I'm not gatekeeping. It's fun, it's simple, it's easy, it's cost effective. So have fun with it. All right, thank you for listening. Bye.